Let me ask you, is your child hungry? Are they full? Or are they satisfied? In this video, I am sharing my hunger scale for kids, which I use in my private practice to help parents talk about appetite cues with their children. But even better, I use it to teach children how to better recognize their signals and signs of hunger, satisfaction, and fullness. Hey everyone, I'm Jill Castle. I'm a pediatric dietitian. I'm the host of this channel, The Nourished Child. I've got 3+ decades of experience working with families and children, and I try to teach little tips and tricks and strategies here on YouTube for all of you listening. If you've enjoyed my videos, make sure you like and follow this channel. But even more so, I have helped hundreds and hundreds of families and children help build physical health and emotional well-being. And I recently came out with a book called Kids Thrive at Every Size, which teaches the healthy habits that all families need, all kids need, regardless of their size. So I hope you check it out if you have the chance. So here is my hunger scale for kids. You can see it's pretty simple, and I have a scale of 1 to 5. But before I get into it, I want to talk about each of these sensations: hunger, satisfaction, fullness. So hunger is pretty easily recognized by many children because they get physical signs of hunger. They get a belly that growls. They get a tummy ache. They might feel thirsty. They might get grumpy or have mood swings. Sometimes they get a headache or they feel nauseous when they're hungry. So there are clear signs, and every child will have different signs. Our job as the adults in their lives is to help them identify the signs that their body shows them. What is so fascinating is that the tummy and the brain work together to make sure all of us, our kids, ourselves, that our bodies get the energy it needs to continue to function. And for children, it's a little bit different because they are growing too. So appetite, hunger, those hormones that tell the brain, the hormones come from the stomach, tell the brain the body is hungry. It is in physical need of energy. And when that happens, that's when all those signs and symptoms and signals happen within the child. That's when your child will tell you, I'm hungry. For most children in school, they experience hunger every 3 to 4 hours. Younger children, like toddlers and babies, it's more frequent. And this is related to the size of their tummy. I always say to my families I'm working with, remember, your child's fist is about the size of their tummy. So a baby's fist is going to be very small. A toddler fist is going to be very small. A child is going to be a little bit bigger, and a teenager is going to be closer to an adult-sized tummy. But even for you and I, this is a really good sign of about how big our tummies are. Now, they can stretch for sure. And when we stretch our tummy really full or really big, we get that signal or that sensation called fullness. Now, when kids feel full, they can feel like their tummy has stretched and feels really round. They can feel uncomfortable. They can feel a bit bloated. They might feel tired and sleepy, and they definitely don't feel hungry anymore. So fullness is that sensation that they're not hungry anymore, but there are some physical signs with that as well. So what is satisfied? So I love the word satisfied, and I really like parents to use the word satisfied instead of full. And I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. But satisfaction is physical hunger being covered or physical hunger being met by eating food, but it is also that emotional sensation that you got what you craved, you got what you wanted, and that you're feeling really good about what you just ate. So it's both physical and it's psychological. So satisfaction it's what we're after when it comes to kids. So let's talk about this graphic. You can see I've labeled it from 1 to 5. 1 is starving or hangry. That's that feeling that you are way too hungry, that it's been far too long since you've had something to eat. A 2 is hunger. It's that normal feeling of feeling hungry when it's been a few hours since you had something to eat. A 3 is neutral. You're not hungry, you're not full, but it's also where satisfaction is. You're not hungry, but you're emotionally feeling very comfortable. Your needs have been met. You're not physically hungry and you're not physically full. You're in the middle. 4 is full. You've eaten and you've filled your belly. You're not hungry anymore and you are ready to move on to other things. Now, when you're full, it might not mean that you feel satisfied, because sometimes we can fill up on foods that just don't really meet our emotional or psychological needs. So that's important to remember. And then 5 is stuffed. Stuffed to the point that you feel sick. So when we're talking with kids, or when I'm talking with kids about this hunger scale, I like to see them living between a 2, a 3, and a 4. I don't like them to get too hungry, and I don't like them to get too full. So this is where we like the appetite to live, in between this 2, 3, and 4. And you can teach your kids these numbers because kids actually can identify. They can relate to those numbers because kids, remember, think in very binary terms, right or wrong, healthy or unhealthy. And so concrete numbers with a feeling can really help them identify what's going on in their body. So a lot of times I'll work with families and they'll ask their child, "Are you full?" Like it's a goal, like that's the end point. And I'm always coaching or trying to reframe that, because we don't want to give the message to kids that fullness is the goal, right? Because when we always get to fullness, we can overdo it. So what I like to teach families to do is use the word satisfied. So instead of saying, "Are you full?" we say, "Are you satisfied? Are you a 3? Where are you on the hunger scale? What is your body telling you? What's your tummy telling you?" That way we can help kids get more attuned to the physical sensations that are going on in their body. The sweet spot is, are you satisfied? Are you physically full or physically happy? Is your belly happy? Did it get enough to eat? Are you no longer hungry? But also, are you emotionally okay? Are you comfortable? Did you get what you need? Are your cravings gone? Are you in a good place after this meal? So satisfaction, it is the goal. That is the goal, because guess what happens when you eat a meal and you walk away satisfied? You're not in the pantry an hour later looking for more food. You're not grazing. You're not constantly thinking about food because you're satisfied. You're physically full, or you're physically satisfied. You're mentally satisfied too. So again, satisfaction is the goal. So I hope that is helpful for you. This is the kind of work I do with families, chipping away at these little habits, these little pieces of education, these little strategies that help you raise your child to not only be physically healthy or just healthy, but also to be emotionally well, to be psychologically well. So it's both, folks. And if you want to learn more about that, you can pick up a copy of Kids Thrive at Every Size, or check out some of my other books. Head to thenourishedchild.com. I have a ton of articles and helpful resources for parents. And if you're really stuck, I do offer private services to families, and you can check those out over on my website, jillcastle.com. Until next time, see ya.